still in the introduction part of SAP. Up to yesterday, we have discussed about SAP, what is an ERP software, and some historical background, what are the SAP modules we have. So up to this point, we have seen yesterday, right? And also, I told you in the last part in yesterday's class, what are the SAP projects we have. There are total 4 SAP projects, like I have highlighted here. We have a support project, implementation project, rollout project, and enhancement or upgradation project. And each of these are important. It's not only related to SAP. By the way, just remember one thing. These projects that I am highlighting here, they are not only applicable for SAP. Any kind of IT project has these kind of varieties. It is not something exclusive to SAP. Even other IT supports or other IT projects also have these 4 types. Right? So keep that in mind. Now let's
Okay.
start by understanding what are these each project types. First one, let us take up implementation project. So what is an implementation project? What happens here?
Maybe it is means that in this project there are bunch of activities we have planned, and then we will implement those activities in this project, I think.
Yeah, of course. See, implementation project, I can easily compare it with your civil project. Okay, let's say you get a order, you get a contract to construct some IT company, multi-floored, 8 floor or 10 floor. Okay, there are different types of civil projects. In that, let's say it's a IT company and you have to construct about 8 floor of building, which they are going to use as an office. So you will take that contract and you are going to start the construction. Once the construction is completed, you will hand over the building. Right? That's what ideally happens in a civil project. But
Yeah.
after you have handed over the building, your job is not done. For at least 6 months or 8 months, you have to provide them free service. I mean, what should I say? Support we have to give. Because ideally, when there is a new building, there will be a lot of issues, technical issues that will come up. Like maybe related to electricity, related to HVAC, or related to, plumbing, cafeteria, all that, all kinds of problem will come. So you have to support them, and whenever there is any issue, we should be able to resolve it. Right? So that's the idea behind a support project. And after that, we have enhancement or upgradation project also, where if you want to make some changes in the software, let's say some major changes, in that case, we have to go for the enhancement or upgradation project. But let's go a little deeper. In the implementation project itself, I gave you some idea. If you compare it with the construction, you have to do the construction of a new building. Similarly, in an implementation project, you have to implement SAP project or SAP software for one of the organization. Let's say, for example, Tata Motors have decided to use SAP, and because they cannot directly purchase this software and directly they cannot use it, so they will first contact a IT company, IT service provider, and from that IT service provider, they are going to share their requirements, how many modules they want to use, what is their budget, which kind of technology they want to use, everything, whatever is their requirement, they will share with the IT consultant company, like Deloitte, for example, or you have PwC. Accenture is also a consulting company. It's a big company. They will not only implement SAP projects, but also they are into consulting. So, there are very few handful companies who are at such a level. Deloitte is one of them, PwC is one of them, and you have your Accenture as an example. So these are top level IT companies. Okay, so after handing over the project to them, Deloitte or any Accenture or some other IT consulting company will hire another software company like Infosys or Wipro, and that IT company is going to implement the SAP software. So just like in a civil construction also, there will be one consulting company. What do you call that? First there will be a client, there will be a main contractor, and there is one more company who will look after the project. Okay, like designing stage and how much part of the project is completed. Okay, what is the quality of work they are doing. They will oversee the entire project. I don't know, I'm
Third
actually forget.
party.
Uh, Third party, but there is another technical name for that. Mm, yeah, it went out of my mind. Uh, their job is, they will
Consultant.
hire
Uh, the
PMC, yeah.
consultant.
Yeah, now I
Uh,
got PMC, Project Management Company. So they will overlook the entire project from the start up to the completion stage. So even in the SAP also same thing happens. There will be one company who will oversee the complete transition. They will oversee the implementation and all. So that company will be there, and beside them there will be a main implementation partner in the form of Infosys or Wipro or HCL Technologies. Any of these companies can do, and it is going to take at least like 10 months to 15 months to implement the SAP software. It's not a very easy task. People think just like how we download Windows and we start using the Windows software, it is not like that. SAP is a very complex software, and it takes a lot of time for us to implement the software, just like doing the construction. So at least 10 months to 15 months is the time required for a implementation project. So let me write that point. It takes about 10 months to 15 months at least. Again, there are different phases also in this. Some companies go with the multiple phases, but ideally, let's say it takes about 10 to 15 months. And what will be the team size? The team size will be like between 25 to 30 people will be there, or consultants generally, and they will be functional consultants, technical consultants, junior consultants, some of them will be senior consultants. We will have a solution architect in that team, and we will have a project manager. So these all entire team is going to work on that project at various levels, and depending on how many modules they want to use, there will be variety of these consultants. Now
Sir,
coming
how
to,
much it will cost for implementation?
yeah, you tell me how much. Take a guess.
I see it's 100 crore or something.
Yeah, maybe like last time when we connected, maybe I had told. Yeah, somewhere between
Um,
100 crore to 130 crore, or it may go even up to 150 crore.
okay, sir.
Okay, so it's just like, even if you want to construct a IT building, I don't think they have to spend 150 crores. And you can imagine, 150 crores is not a small amount. Like I was in one of the project in Lucknow, okay, and in that project, they were implementing about 12 modules, and they were implementing on S4 HANA, and they had allocated 130 crores, for that entire project. So now you know where your salary and all comes, and why they pay you such a high salary, because that entire money comes from the project, right? So take like about 100 crore to 130 crores ideally you have to spend, especially if the modules are more. If it is just core modules, maybe at least 50-60 crore is enough. But if they are going for all the top modules, including EHS and all, then easily 10 crore will be required. Okay, and also, can you tell me what is the percentage success? Let's say if they are going to implement SAP software, if there is an implementation project, what is the percentage chance that it is going to be completed? Or what is the success rate of implementation? Do you know in SAP how much?
90%.
90%. No,
80, 80 maybe.
no. It is very less. Let's say maximum 30%, or even if you stretch it, it will not go more than 35%. It means if there are 100 projects going on, implementation projects, out of that only 30 to 35 projects will see the completion stage. Rest of them will be cancelled, rest of them will be put on hold, and it will be delayed. All such things are going to happen. So in the SAP implementation project, the success rate is only 30 to 35% maximum. Right? So these are few things you have to know about the implementation project. Yeah, again in this there are two things. See, when you implement a SAP software, the client may not be having any kind of software. Currently, they may not be using any software at all. They are simply using MS Excel sheets, they are using MS Word, and nothing more than that. So for such a company, we have to start the implementation from this scratch. We have to first understand their business process, then we have to take the requirement from the client, then we have to develop a solution for them, okay, then we have to implement that. So if the company is not using any kind of software, we have to start from the very beginning. Okay, that's one more thing you have to keep in mind. Okay, after you have implemented, then comes the support project. I gave you the example for support project. Even after completing the building, construction, everything is done. But still you have to support them for some time free of cost, maybe like 6 months. Once that 6-month period is over, free service period, then they have to hire some facilities management. Some facilities management company like JLL or CBRE, if you know them, they are all into facilities management. But why do we need, like, okay, the building is ready now, the people have occupied, they have started working. Why do you need a facilities management team?
There might be some rectifications work needs to be done
Yeah,
after
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
occupied.
In your offices, you might have seen sometimes AC will not work, okay, sometimes some other problem will come or electrical problem will be there. Some small, these kind of problems will always come. So you need some other team called either you can call them as facilities management team or maintenance team who are there to support the the client. So similarly, when you are using the SAP software, lot of times what happens is you will face some issue, like they will not be able to execute a transaction code, they will not be able to generate a report, they will not be able to search any data, or some or the other problems
Can
will
we
arise.
say hypercare or
Hyper,
hypercare support?
yeah, hypercare or simply put support project. So here exactly what happens, if the client who is using the SAP software, if he is facing some technical issues, there should be somebody to help them. Like let's say you purchase a new laptop and suddenly you find it is overheating or there is some issue in that. What will you do? You have to directly contact the customer care executives. You have to ask them, this is this problem, what to do about it, where should you go, and how it will be rectified. You have to contact them. Similarly, when the client starts using SAP, they will have lot of issues. Some applications will not work as per their requirement. So all such things will happen, and there should be a support team ready to support them, and they are proper SAP consultants, and they will be working on a shift to shift basis. Again, support project can be divided into multiple other types. I will tell you what they are, but their job is to support the client. They have to ensure the software is running smoothly without any problem. Okay, that is their job. And these support projects, again, you can divide them into various types. We have 24/7, we have 24/5 support project, we have on-call support project, Okay, then we have on-site support project and off-site support project, right? These are the different types of support projects. So as the name itself is telling you, 24/7 means here the consultants will be available to support the client 24/7. Because some sectors in the industry work 24/7 non-stop, like oil and gas. They work non-stop. Or let's say power generation plants, they work non-stop. Or utility companies. Or maybe what other example? Let's say pharmaceutical industry. They also keep manufacturing 24/7. So when you have a company like that, the problem may arise in the software at any time. On a Sunday morning at 2 a.m. maybe there is some problem in the SAP software. So the consultant should be there. They cannot take leave as such. And whenever such a problem occurs, they have to resolve it. Okay, I'm not saying that when I say they cannot take leave, I mean there will be other people to replace the person, but always you have to be on standby. And whenever there is any technical issue, you should immediately address that, and depending on the priority of the ticket, you have to resolve it. Right? That is called as 24/7. Every time there will be a support team ready. They will always be on standby. Whenever you need support, they will be supporting you. But there are other companies also who don't need support for the entire week or for the entire year. Maybe they need only support for 5 days in a week, Monday to Friday. And on Saturdays and Sundays, maybe they don't work. Like most of the financial institutions, okay, banks or taxation companies, like that. These companies are not working for the entire 7 days. So for them, they don't have to go for 24/7 project. They can go for 24/5 project. But what is the difference? Why do you think they have again divided this into two? They can go with 24/7 itself, no? Why again there is a difference here? 24/5 and 24/7. The more number of days that you are taking service from the IT company, the more money you have to pay. Okay? In a 24/5 case, you have to pay a lesser fee to the IT company compared to 24/7. Right? So therefore,
Yeah.
when you think about support project, it goes on for years and years. These support projects, the agreement will be for 3 years, 5 years, sometimes 10 years. So it's a very long duration projects. As long as the client is using SAP, there is a support project. So therefore, if you accumulate all these charges, over the years, it will become huge. It will go into crores. So therefore, to save the money, they will go with the 24/5 support project. That's the reason. And again, we have on-call support project. On-call in the sense, they will call the customer care executives, just like how we call, and they will try to get the support over the call itself. If the issue is minor, no need to raise the ticket and all. They will get the support directly over the phone. If it cannot be resolved, then they will go for the next step. Right? So this is also one type of a project we have, on-call support project. Next two are on-site and off-site support projects. So what is an on-site support project and what is an off-site support project?
In case of on-site, means one consultant will be on-site, means at client location,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
off-site means where we are supporting in means online mode, like
Yeah.
means IT team office will be different location and client
Yeah.
location will be different.
Yeah. You are working on-site or off-site?
Off-site.
Off-site, yes. See, on-site means the SAP consultants or the support team will be there along with the client in their location. They will be sitting in their office. See, for example, there are some big companies who have lot of money to spend. Like, what example can I give? Saudi Aramco, for example. Saudi Aramco is a very big oil and gas company, right? They have billions of dollars to spend. Such a company, when they implement SAP, they want the consultants to be on their side. Or even after implementing, whenever they need a support team, the support team is supposed to be there at the Saudi Aramco location. So they will ask the IT company, please deploy your consultants in our office. They will be here with us. We'll take care of all their accommodation and everything. But they will be working along with us. So in such a case, what happens? The downtime will be less and the response will be very fast. Suppose if there is a major problem with the SAP software, they don't have to wait till they come back with the solution. The consultants will be already there with them. So directly they can take the support and they can rectify the technical issue. So in an on-site support project, the consultants will be at the location of the client. They will have to travel and they will be working along with them. Off-site means the consultants will be at the base location, maybe in Mumbai, Hyderabad, or Pune, or somewhere in Bangalore, but the client will be located in a remote location. So they will be in Dubai or in Saudi Arabia or any other location, but you will be supporting them remotely. So that kind of a support project is called as a off-site support project, right? So on-site support project, off-site support project, 24/7, 24/5, and on-call support project. These are the different types of support projects. So ideally, if you want to learn SAP more quickly and if you want to gain some real hands-on experience, I suggest you better work on a support project. I know it is not in your hands, you cannot choose, but still I prefer that people who are new to SAP should ideally work for a support project. In that way, what will happen? You can gain a lot of experience. You can see what kind of errors are going to come, how to resolve those technical issues. You will see it very closely. And also there will be a team leader, there will be a project manager to guide you on the floor. So you will learn very fast, right? If you cannot, then next thing is maybe they will put you into the implementation project. So 99% of the time, those who join IT companies as consultant, either they'll be working on an implementation project or a support project. Okay, rollout project and other enhancement that comes later on. After you gain a lot of experience, then you can work on the other two. Okay, so what is a rollout project?
Rollout means suppose means there are multiple plants
Yeah.
and they have already implemented SAP in one plant. So like if they have completed in Pune plant and they want to extend this in Bangalore plant, so whatever customization configuration they have done in that in Pune, they will copy this to the Bangalore means by changing the name of plant, company,
Yeah.
storage location, and like that.
Yeah, yes. It is just like cloning. You know, they clone. Already one copy will be there and they will create one more copy. Okay, so a project also can be cloned. Now, you see, some companies have multiple locations. For example, Adani ports, you might have heard, they have lot of locations in India. They are operating from Gujarat port, they are operating from Mumbai port, from Kochi port, they are also there in Chennai, in Visakhapatnam, and lot of other places. They have multiple locations in India. So let's say tomorrow Adani ports decide, okay, now we are planning to use SAP. So let's implement a SAP software in our organization. But there are so many locations. So where they will start? Do you think it is good if we start implementing everywhere in a single shot? Or do you think we have to go one by one at each location and implement? Which is better and why?
One by one is better because it will also reduce the cost of mobilizing at all the locations.
Exactly.
And if the production means the output is the same for one location, so we can easily identify the gaps there. And after finding those gaps, we can utilize that learning for next locations.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So there are multiple reasons why it is better to go with the rollout project. It is just like an implementation. Here also we are implementing SAP, but there are some quite good advantages to go with the rollout project. Number one, it will be easy for you to mobilize the resources, I mean the manpower. So we have limited number of consultants, you know. So if we start implementing SAP in all the locations, maybe at some location you may get the consultant or not, we don't know. Because you cannot fill all the positions at a time. It is very difficult. So that is one reason deploying manpower at all the locations to simultaneously start the implementation is very difficult. Second reason is financial. The budget I told you already, like, you know, in an implementation project, 100 crore to 130 crore you have to spend for one location. So imagine if you have 4 to 5 locations, just multiply with that. 500, 600 crore easily will be the total budget you have to spend. Do you think Adani Ports has so much money that, okay, they don't care, they will invest 600 crore at a time? Maybe they can. Maybe they can. Still, there is a problem. Even if they are ready, even if they want to allocate 600 crore. But the main problem is, what if they don't like the SAP software itself? They implemented everywhere. Okay, now they started using, but now they are feeling, array yaar, it's very difficult to use. Earlier solution itself was good. It was easy. But this SAP is very difficult and it is taking a lot of time and our activities getting delayed. They may face like that. I mean, not every company will like SAP. They may have their own reasons. Maybe if they were using some other software, they may think that that software was better. But what to do now? They have implemented everywhere. They have spent 600 crore. So if they want to stop using, you think they can stop? It will impact their business operations. It is going to impact their financial condition because already so much money is spent. So whether they like it or not, they have to continue to use SAP. Whether it is beneficial to them or not, they are forced to use SAP. So any good businessman do not want to take that chance. So therefore what Adani Ports will do, they will say, boss, let's do one thing. We'll select one location. Okay, we'll implement SAP in that location. And then what we'll do is, we will use it for some months, like maybe like 6 months or 8 months. And once we have used the software and if we are comfortable using the software, then we'll implement in other locations. So they'll select a pilot site, a small site somewhere in India, a small site. So they will ask them to implement SAP in that one location and they will use the software for some days, at least for a year. And by then they will come to know whether it is really good, are they getting any benefit out of SAP or not. They will have a good idea by the end of 1 year. So if they are happy, then they'll say, fine boss, we are happy with the SAP solution. Do one thing, same solution you implement across other locations also. So thereby they will implement SAP in multiple locations phase by phase. Maybe in phase 1 they will implement in Gujarat, in phase 2 in Mumbai, in phase 3 they will take up Kochi and your Chennai port, and phase 4 maybe they will implement in Visakhapatnam. So financial burden will also be less and they will get a chance to understand the benefits of SAP, and then they can decide, after one phase they can decide whether they want to continue with SAP or they want to stop. And loss will also be less, maybe 50-60 crore, still fine. Now 500-600 crore is huge. So all these benefits are there in the rollout project, right? So rollout project is also an implementation project, but here we are going to implement the SAP phase by phase basis if there are multiple locations. Many companies have multiple plants, like Tata Motors has multiple plants, Tata Steel, okay, Adani Ports. Like that, there are many companies who are having multiple plants and multiple locations. So for them, it is better to go with the rollout project. But if you have a single location, if it is just in one city, then go with the implementation project directly. right? So that's what is the rollout project. By the way, Nestle is also a client of SAP. And they say that, by the way, Nestle is present almost in every country. There are about 17 to 20 countries in the world. In every country, you can find Nestle. They have their, manufacturing units. They have their commercial officers. They have business in almost every country in the world. And they are the biggest client for SAP. When they started implementing SAP for Nestle, it took so many years. That was the biggest project that was handled by SAP. So we have clients like that. Nestle is one example. Right. So last one is called enhancement or upgradation project. So what is this project? Enhancement or upgradation?
Yeah. There are some continuous updates uh, continuous update will coming to SAP like version wise. So in that case, suppose after 1 year or 2 years, there are some updates. In that case,
Yeah.
we can use this project.
Okay. See, what happens where after you implement SAP, newer versions will come. There will be some technological changes in the software. Okay, or maybe the client itself, they want to implement new modules. Let's say currently they have implemented 10 different SAP modules, and now they want to add two more. They want to add EHS module and they want to add QM module. So what to do in such a case? You don't have to go with the implementation project, because they want to add just two more new modules. In such a case, they will take up the enhancement or upgradation project. So what happens in this project? Those two new modules which the client is requesting, 2 to 3 consultants will go to the client location, they will take the requirement and they will implement. And it will not take much time also. I think 3 to 4 months is what? Maximum 3 to 4 months. And number of consultants required is also less. If you have 3 to 4 consultants, that is more than enough. So here, enhancement or upgradation project means it is a small time project where if you have to make some major changes in the software, or if you want to upgrade the version of the software, or if you want to implement new modules into the SAP, in such cases they will go with the enhancement or upgradation project. But it's not a big time. 3 to 4 months is enough, and you don't need more consultants also. So any kind of major changes or software upgradations or new modules introduction, all that can be done in the enhancement or upgradation project. So ideally you will not see this much, when you start working as a consultant. Like I told you, either support project 99% of the time, because they want to train you, so they will first put you into the support project. After that, they will put you into the implementation project. So implementation means, like I told you, if any company wants to use SAP, you have to go to the client location, understand their requirement, and you have to implement. Okay, so these two are most commonly that you will face during your initial years as a consultant. Clear, guys, so far?
So these
Yes, sir.
projects means that it support implementation, rollout, enhancement. So it gets finalization before starting the work. I think maybe during the initial stages itself, the contract, as per the contract, means that it will be the support project or it will be the implementation project.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So the client, if they are already using SAP, let's say they want to hire another IT company for support. Okay, let's say implementation was done by Accenture company. Okay, but for support project they don't want to hire Accenture, they want to go with Infosys. So what they will do, they will contact Infosys, they will say, boss, you please support us, we will enter into an agreement, SLA, and you have to support us. So Infosys will agree, they will discuss what are the requirements, fees and everything, and finally they will sign this SLA, and then Infosys are going to support them. So sometimes it may be the same company who will be in the support project, but sometimes it may be other company also.
okay.
Yeah. Like for example, JLL is also into construction. At least in North American region, JLL is also a construction company. But in India, if you see, they are into facilities management. So like that, one company can play both the roles. They can implement and also they can support. Right? Clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now let's go to SAP EHS. So I have given you a brief idea about the SAP introduction. I hope it will be very helpful to you. Now we'll see what we are going to learn in the SAP EHS module. So there are total 8 components in SAP EHS, starting with basic data and tools. We have basic data and tools first, and after that,
Product safety.
yeah, we have product safety. Then we have global label management. See, actually, global label management is part of product safety itself. But I want to take it separately because it is very vast and the topic itself is something different from product safety. So we'll see that separately. And after GLM, we have hazardous substance management.
Dangerous
Yeah,
goods management.
dangerous goods management. Another very important topic in our
Industrial hygiene and safety.
Before that, we have waste management. Yeah, you can
Yes.
combine. I mean, you can take up anything, no problem. Industrial hygiene and safety. And then you have occupational health. Occupational health. And then you have waste management. Okay, all these are the components of SAP EHS. See, the companies who implement SAP EHS, they are not going to use all the 8 components. Okay, for example, in the case of Adesh, in his company, they are using what? Basic data and tools, maybe product safety, right?
And dangerous goods management.
Dangerous goods management. Yeah, only these 3 components. But there are other companies who use all these components, like oil and gas. They want to use all the components. Or any chemical company, they want to use all the components. So it depends what is the nature of their business, and in EHS what are the solutions they require. Depending on them, you can choose. The company can choose which component they want to use and which they don't want. Like if you go to construction company, a construction company doesn't need basic data and tools. What they will do with that? They don't need product safety. Again, they are not manufacturing anything. So construction company doesn't need product safety. They don't need GLM. Okay, they don't need hazardous substance management. Okay, so they need what? Industrial hygiene and safety. They need occupational health and waste management. Because concrete is a hazardous waste, no? Concrete. And if they are using some other kind of chemicals in the construction work, what can I say? Paints, for example, or solvents,
Chlorine,
chlorine. Yeah. And also there will be some black color coating that they use. I don't know exactly what is the name, but once the construction is completed within the premises, they will use the black color coating. It will be like a paint. Okay, that solution also there. That is also a chemical, and lot of other chemicals are used in construction field. So when they are generating some hazardous waste, they have to manage the data. So therefore they use waste management also. Right? So these are the 8 components in SAP EHS, where basic data and tools, this is used to create the data. If you want to create EHS data, how are you going to create? We are going to use basic data and tools. For example, you want to create a MSDS. Let's say you are manufacturing some chemical in your company and you want to create a MSDS for that chemical. So how will you create that? We have something called as a specification management. Okay, specification management, and in this we are going to create the data for MSDs. Or if you want to create some other EHS related document, you can create that in the specification management. So in total, if I have to give examples, you can create some substance related data, dangerous goods related data, agent or hazard related data, or if you are generating waste related data, and packaging material data. I will not go in detail, but I am just giving you some idea. We are going to create all these different types of data in the specification management. Next, again we have phrase management. Phrase management comes under your basic data and tools, where we are going to see how to create phrases. Yeah. Phrase management. Phrase means, okay, it's like a sentence. Okay, let me give
standardized text.
Yeah, it's a standardized text. Phrase means standardized text. Like for example, no smoking zone. You might have seen this, they will display no smoking zone. That is one phrase. Or always use PPE when you are inside the work area. That is another sentence, right? That sentence is nothing but a phrase. Or when it comes to the firefighting measures, use carbon dioxide fire extinguisher for chemical fires. So that is one standardized text. It can be either an instruction or it can be a single word, no problem, but we call them as phrases. So we'll see how to create those phrases in the phrase management. And there is a little bit of introduction to reports in report management. We call it as report definition here. It's little theory part which is there in the basic data inputs. Okay, clear? Next, what is product safety? Product safety, you might have heard this a lot of times. When you manufacture any product, that product should be safe for your employees, not employees, I mean the customers. Because whoever is using, one second, Jayesh lost connection. Yeah, okay. So what I was saying, yeah, product safety can be related to any product that you are manufacturing. It can be some electrical devices or mechanical equipments, or it can be some paint, or it can be some other chemical or fertilizer, pesticide, anything. Any product that you are manufacturing, it can be mobile phone, or it can be your laptop, it can be shirt, it can be anything. Any product that you are manufacturing, you have a responsibility that that product should be safe for your customers. So when your customer is using your product, he should be using it safely. There should be no harm done to the customer. And you have to ensure that. You have to manufacture that product by using high quality material that the customer does not face any safety related issues. See, otherwise what will happen, lot of times you have seen China made mobile phones. They will explode suddenly. Even at normal operating temperature also they will explode. Right? That's not a good product. And where is product safety in that? But have you heard any iPhone or any Samsung mobile phone getting exploded like that? If it happens anywhere, even at a single location, that will have a big impact on the company. Their sales will go down, product recall will happen, they will lose millions of dollars. So therefore, these product related issues you will not find in big top companies. These are issues that you will find in some companies who are manufacturing in China, and you cannot catch them. You cannot go and bring them to justice. It's not possible. So therefore, they manufacture using cheap material. So in product safety, what exactly we are going to learn is, it's not related to mobile phones or any electrical or mechanical systems. We are going to learn about the hazardous product. So the hazardous product, when you manufacture, what is your responsibility? The main thing is the documentation part. You will prepare a document, and that document will be checked by different people, and it will have different status. So we are going to learn something called as report management. Okay, report management. Next, we are going to learn substance volume tracking.
Substance volume tracking.
Substance volume tracking is a very important concept. So what exactly is a substance volume tracking? See, when you are working in a chemical company, the chemicals or the hazardous substances you cannot store in the company for a long time, or even in the quantity also you cannot store large quantity. Like for example, it is very well known, diesel and petrol, even in the construction site, how much can you store diesel and petrol? Because you use it for diesel generators. So if you have to store, how many liters can you store?
One sphere for diesel it is 2500 without license, and petrol is 30 liters without license.
Okay, only 30 liters.
Ah,
That's very less. Okay, anyways, that's a rule. I mean, we cannot say anything. The government tells you that these are the rules. Diesel you can store 2500 liters. Okay, and petrol should not exceed more than 30 liters. What will happen if you exceed? Let's say petrol you start keeping 100 liters. What will happen?
means government agencies maybe find the organization.
Yeah,
There will be
definitely.
penalties.
Yeah, true. So if they happen to do inspection in your company, and if they find that you are storing 100 liter of petrol when the quantity should be 30 liters, definitely they will catch you. It will be a non-compliance. They will take strict action. No doubt about that. Diesel petrol is still okay, but there are some very harmful chemicals, like cyanide based chemicals are there, or arsenic based chemicals are there. These are highly super dangerous. Such kind of chemicals you cannot store in kilogram together without any proper documentation. They will not listen. They can even cancel the license of that company. If it is very harsh, they can even cancel the license. Or lesser than that, they will put hefty fines on the company. So therefore, any chemical, any hazardous substance that you are storing in the company, there should be a limit on that. And government will tell you which type of hazardous material, how much quantity you can store. You cannot exceed that. But just imagine, that is okay, you will follow the rules. But in a chemical company, there will be hundreds of chemicals. Some will be finished products, some will be raw materials, some will be semi-finished materials, products. So how will you track them? If there are 200 chemicals, let's say, in your company, can you go and check every day what is the quantity, whether it is reaching 100% or not? Can you go and check that every day? If you cannot physically check it every day, then what is the solution? Mind you, it is not only about storing the chemicals. Even you cannot manufacture a chemical more than the allowed limit. Okay, there is a limitation even how much you can manufacture. There is a limitation how much you can sell that chemical. For each and every aspect, there are limitations. So, having a chemical company is not at all easy. Managing a chemical company is a very difficult task. Lot of regulations you have to follow, lot of compliance requirements you have to fulfill. It's very, very difficult. So this solution is particularly for those kind of companies who are using lot of different hazardous substances, and whenever they want to track the quantity of that hazardous substance, they can use substance volume tracking. So it is actually an application that will track which hazardous substance is available in how much quantity currently, okay, and what is the maximum limit. It will do the comparison and it will generate an alert message. All that it will do automatically. So that's your substance volume tracking. It is an application which is used to track the hazardous substance quantities, and whenever that quantity is exceeding the limit, it will generate an alert message. Right? So that solution is substance volume tracking. Very interesting concept and very important. We are going to see how to configure this and how actually it works. We'll see that in detail. Next, we have another short topic called report information system. This is about the reports which are no longer required, historical reports or archived reports. Where do you store them? Why do we store it in the report information system? We'll see that. And then we have bill of material. Any idea what is bill of material?
Bill of material means suppose if we manufacture one finished product, like if we manufacture a car, so we need some parts like tire,
Yeah.
mirror,
Mm.
and chassis like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Engine
so
block,
bill of yeah, so bill
gearbox.
of material means the component of finished products.
Yeah, yes. Bill of material means it is a list of components which are required to manufacture some product. That product can be like, okay, let's say bicycle, right? A bicycle, if you want to manufacture, you need different components. You need the body of that cycle, you need a handle, you need a headlamp, you need two tires, you need two pedals, you need a chain, you need a carrier, you need a seat. All these different parts, when you connect together, no, you can get bicycle. Even if one component is missing, you cannot manufacture. Just imagine instead of two tires, there is just one tire. Can you manufacture? It will be an incomplete product. So, in order to manufacture any product at all, it can be either vehicles, okay, or it can be any electrical or mechanical devices or equipments, or it can be even a food item, or it can be any paint, anything, any product. When you manufacture, you have to have a list of materials that you need for manufacturing. So that list will be given under bill of material. Right? So which component you need, how much quantity you need, that will be very clearly given in a bill of material. So bill of material is a list of components which are required to manufacture any product. But why are we discussing this? It is related to production planning, no? It is about manufacturing. Why are we discussing about BOM in our EHS? Because BOM is
It will give us
mainly...
the list of different materials. It will give us the list of different materials, so we can analyze the safety part of those materials as well for
Yeah,
end product of
exactly.
our.
Yeah, absolutely. See, because environment protection is also your duty, no? Though maybe you are manufacturing some chemical, still you have to take care of the environment. And what government does from time to time, they will ban certain materials. They will say, okay, this material you should not use. Use some other alternative. Like, for example, earlier, before 25 years ago, at least 20 years ago, they were using AC gas, which was some other name. I don't know exact name. They were using some other AC gas. So because of that AC gas, it was found that ozone layer is getting damaged. Okay, because continuously when they use the AC, it will liberate some gas, carbon fluoride gas, that is going to damage the ozone layer. So what the government did around the world, they banned that material. Now we have a safer version of that AC gas, which we can use, or we can also call it as a coolant, which is more safe. It is not going to harm the ozone layer. That is one example. Like that, many materials the government is going to ban from time to time. And these production people, they really don't care. Their job is only to do the manufacturing, and that's it. What material they are using, whether it is allowed or not allowed, all that they will not think. So we have to analyze that. As a EHS person, I have to know which material is banned by the government, which they can use, which they cannot use. I have to give them suggestion. I have to stop them if they are using some material which is banned. And until and unless you don't have a bill of material, how will you know which material they are using, what they are using, in how much quantity they are using? You cannot know that. So therefore, at least by referring to the bill of material, you will have an idea, okay, this is the material they are using, and whether they are using it within the safe limits or not, You can check that in the bill of material. So that is why we are going to learn how to create a bill of material and what are the transaction codes applicable and what are the different parts in that bill of material. So that also we are going to discuss. Right? So that's in the product safety.
So, is there anything related to this bill of material in specification?
Yeah, bill of material when you prepare in the composition section of your specification, you can use that bill of material. So
Okay.
by transferring bill of material, what will happen? The components of that bill of material will get added into the specification.
Okay.
Because again, see that each component may be a chemical, and for that chemical, there may be a specification already created. So we use this bill of material called BOM transfer, and we can update the specification.
Okay.
Okay, so that's about the product safety. Next, we have GLM or Global Label Management. This is all about labels. How many different types of labels we have in SAP and how can we configure the label size, how we can configure the label stock size and different categories of labels, all that we are going to discuss in the GLM. So it is a dedicated component for label management because in safety there are a lot of labels we have to use. Dangerous goods label, hazardous substance label, product label, okay, waste label, and there are many others. So most of these labels are used in EHS also. Apart from that, in warehouse also they will be using labels like storage bin label, okay, or there is one more which they use it in the warehouse, or during the logistics also you use address label, and there is a primary label, primary container label. Lot of labels are there. So we are going to discuss what are those categories we have of labels and what is a label stock and how to define the label size. That will be covered in the GLM. Next we have hazardous substance management. Now the call may get disconnected, okay? If it does, we'll connect tomorrow and we'll continue. Meanwhile, until we are connected, let me also tell you about the hazardous substance management. It's a very small topic, by the way, where we are going to learn about the hazardous substance master record. It's a master record. Hazardous substance master record. What it is, why we need hazardous substance master, we are going to discuss. And there is something called as SARA reports. Do you know what is SARA report? Anybody?
No.
Not so much used because this report is required only for USA. For other countries, you don't need SARA report. So actually, SARA stands for US Superfund Amendments and Reauthorization Act. Okay, US Superfund Amendments and Reauthorization Act. It means when you manufacture any chemical in India and if you want to sell that in USA, you cannot directly go and sell. First, you have to take the permission from their agency. There is an agency called EPA, Environment Protection Agency. Just like how we have Pollution Control Board, in USA we have EPA. So first we have to take their permission. They will check what kind of chemical it is, whether they can allow it or not, what impact it will have on the environment, everything they will check. So once they are okay with that, they will allow you to sell that chemical. But again, there is a condition. Every month you are supposed to prepare a SARA report and submit to them. So